Questioner: what is your state at the present moment? Maharaj answers: a state of non-experiencing. In it, all experience is included. Questioner: can you enter the mind and heart of another man and share his experience? Maharaj answers: no, such things require special training. I am like a dealer in wheat. I know little about breads and cakes. Even the taste of a wheat gruel I may not know, but about the wheat grain I know all and well. I know the source of all experience, but the innumerable particular forms experience can take, I do not know, nor do I need to know. From moment to moment, the little I need to know to live my life, I somehow happen to know. Questioner: your particular existence and my particular existence, do they both exist in the mind of Brahma? Maharaj answers: the universal is not aware of the particular. The existence as a person is a personal matter. A person exists in time and space, has name and shape, beginning and end. The universal includes all persons, and the absolute is at the root of all and beyond all. Questioner: I am not concerned with the totality, my personal consciousness and your personal consciousness. What is the link between the two? Maharaj answers: between two dreamers, what can be the link? Questioner: they may dream of each other. Maharaj answers: that is what people are doing. Everyone imagines others and seeks a link with them. The seeker is the link. There is none other. Questioner: surely there must be something in common between the many points of consciousness we are. Maharaj answers: where are the many points? In your mind. You insist that your world is independent of your mind. How can it be? Your desire to know other people's minds is due to your not knowing your own mind. First know your own mind, and you will find that the question of other minds does not arise at all, for there are no other people. You are the common factor, the only link between the minds. Being is consciousness. I am applies to all. Questioner: the supreme reality, Parabrahman, may be present in all of us, but of what use is it to us? Maharaj answers: you are like a man who says, I need a place where I can keep my things, but what use is space to me? Or, I need milk, tea, coffee or soda, but for water I have no use. Don't you see that the supreme reality is what makes everything possible? But if you ask of what use is it to you, I must answer none. In matters of daily life, the knower of the real has no advantage. He may be at a disadvantage rather. Being free from greed and fear, he does not protect himself. The very idea of profit is foreign to him. He abhors accretions. His life is constant divesting oneself, sharing, giving. Questioner: if there is no advantage in gaining the supreme, then why take the trouble? Maharaj answers: there is trouble only when you cling to something. When you hold on to nothing, no trouble arises. The relinquishing of the lesser is the gaining of the greater. Give up all and you gain all. Then life becomes what it was meant to be, pure radiation from an inexhaustible source. In that light, the world appears dimly like a dream. Questioner: if my world is merely a dream and you are part of it, what can you do for me? If the dream is not real, having no being, how can reality affect it? Maharaj answers: while it lasts, the dream has temporary being. It is your desire to hold on to it that creates the problem. Let go. Stop imagining that the dream is yours. Questioner: you seem to take for granted that there can be a dream without a dreamer, and that I identify myself with the dream of my own sweet will. But I am the dreamer, and the dream too. Who is to stop dreaming? To which Maharaj answered, let the dream unroll itself to its very end. You cannot help it, but you can look at the dream as a dream, refuse it the stamp of reality. Questioner. Here am I, sitting before you. I am dreaming and you are watching me talking in my dream. What is the link between us? Maharaj answers, my intention to wake you up is the link. My heart wants you awake. I see you suffer in your dream and I know that you must wake up to end your woes. When you see your dream as dream, you wake up. But in your dream itself, I'm not interested. Enough of me to know that you must wake up. You need not bring your dream to a definite conclusion, or make it noble, or happy, or beautiful. All you need is to realize that you are dreaming. Stop imagining, stop believing. See the contradictions, the incongruities, the falsehood, and the sorrow of the human state, the need to go beyond. Within the immensity of space floats a tiny atom of consciousness, and in the entire universe is contained. Questioner. There are affections in the dream which seem real and everlasting. Do they disappear on waking up? Maharaj. In dream, you love some and not others. On waking up, you find you are love itself, embracing all. Personal love, however intense and genuine, invariably binds. Love in freedom is love of all. Questioner. People come and go. One loves whom one meets. One cannot love all. Maharaj answered, when you are love itself, you are beyond time and numbers. In loving one, you love all. In loving all, you love each. One and all are not exclusive. Questioner. You say you are in a timeless state. Does it mean that past and future are open to you? Did you meet Vashishta Muni, Rama's guru? Maharaj answered, the question is in time and about time. Again, you are asking me about the contents of a dream. Timelessness is beyond the illusion of time. It is not an extension in time. He who called himself Vashishta knew Vashishta. I am beyond all names and shapes. Vashishta is a dream in your dream. How can I know him? You are too much concerned with past and future. It is all due to your longing to continue to protect yourself against extinction. And as you want to continue, you want others to keep you company. Hence your concern with their survival. But what you call survival is but the survival of a dream. Death is preferable to it. There is a chance of waking up. Questioner. You are aware of eternity, therefore you are not concerned with survival. Maharaj answers, it is the other way around. Freedom from all desire is eternity. All attachment implies fear, for all things are transient, and fear makes one a slave. This freedom from attachment does not come with practice. It is natural when one knows one's true being. Love does not cling. Clinging is not love. Questioner. So there is no way to gain detachment. Maharaj answered, there is nothing to gain. Abandon all imaginings and know yourself as you are. Self-knowledge is detachment. All craving is due to a sense of insufficiency. When you know that you lack nothing, that all there is you and yours, desire ceases. Questioner. To know myself, must I practice awareness? Maharaj answered, there is nothing to practice. To know yourself, be yourself. To be yourself, stop imagining yourself to be this or that. Just be. Let your true nature emerge. Don't disturb your mind with seeking. Questioner. It will take much time if I just wait for self-realization. Maharaj answered, what have you to wait for when it is already here and now? You have only to look and see. Look at yourself, at your own being. You know that you are and you like it. Abandon all imagining, that is all. Do not rely on time. Time is death. Who waits dies. Life is now only. Do not talk to me about past and future. They exist only in your mind. Questioner. You too will die. Maharaj answered. I am dead already. Physical death will make no difference in my case. I am timeless being. I am free of desire or fear because I do not remember the past or imagine the future. Where there are no names and shapes, how can there be desire and fear? With desirelessness comes timelessness. I am safe because what is not cannot touch what is. You feel unsafe because you imagine danger. Of course, your body as such is complex and vulnerable and needs protection, but not you. Once you realize your own unassailable being, you will be at peace. Questioner. How can I find peace when the world suffers? Maharaj answered. The world suffers for very valid reasons. If you want to help the world, you must be beyond the need of help. Then all your being as well as not being will help the world most effectively. Questioner. How can non-action be of use when action is needed? Maharaj answered. Where action is needed, action happens. Man is not the actor. He is to be aware of what is going on. His very presence is action. The window is the absence of the wall, and it gives air and light because it is empty. Be empty of all mental content, of all imagination and effort. And the very absence of obstacles will cause reality to rush in. If you really want to help a person, keep away. If you are emotionally committed to helping, you will fail to help. You may be very busy and be very pleased with your charitable nature, but not much will be done. A man is really helped when he is no longer in need of help. All else is just futility. Questioner. There is not enough time to sit and wait for help to happen. One must do something. Maharaj answered. By all means do. But what you can do is limited. The self alone is unlimited. Give limitlessly of yourself. All else you can give in small measures only. You alone are immeasurable. To help is your very nature. Even when you eat and drink, you help your body. For yourself, you need nothing. You are pure giving, beginningless, endless, inexhaustible. When you see sorrow and suffering, be with it. Do not rush into activity. Neither learning nor action can really help. Be with sorrow and lay bare its roots. Helping to understand is real help. Questioner. My death is nearing. Maharaj. Your body is short of time, not you. Time and space are in the mind only. You are not bound. Just understand yourself. That itself is eternity. You're not bound. Just understand yourself. That itself is eternity. Consciousness arising, world arises. Questioner. When an ordinary man dies, what happens to him? Maharaj answered, according to his belief it happens. As life before death is but imagination, so is life after. The dream continues. Questioner. And what about the Nani? Maharaj answered, the Nani does not die because he was never born. Questioner. He appears so to others. Maharaj. But not to himself. In himself he is free of things, physical and mental. Questioner. Still, you must know the state of the man who died, at least from your own past lives. Maharaj answered, until I met my Guru, I knew so many things. Now I know nothing, for all the knowledge is in dream only and not valid. I know myself, and I find no life nor death in me, only pure being. not being this or that, but just being. But the moment the mind, drawing on its stock of memories, begins to imagine, it fills the space with objects and time with events. As I do not know this birth, how can I know past births? It is the mind that itself in movement sees everything moving, and having created time, worries about the past and future. All the universe is cradled in consciousness, Maha-attva, which arises where there is perfect order and harmony, Maha-sattva. As all waves are in the ocean, so are all things physical and mental in awareness. Hence, awareness itself is all important, not the content of it. Deepen and broaden your awareness of yourself, and all the blessings will flow. You need not seek anything. All will come to you most naturally and effortlessly. The 5 senses and the 4 functions of the mind, memory, thought, understanding, and selfhood, the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. The 2 aspects of creation, matter and spirit, all are contained in awareness. Questioner: yet you must believe in having lived before? Maharaj answered, the scriptures say so, but I know nothing about it. I know myself as I am. As I appeared or will appear is not within my experience. It is not that I do not remember. In fact, there is nothing to remember. Reincarnation implies a reincarnating self. There is no such thing. The bundle of memories and hopes called the I imagines itself existing in everlastingly and creates time to accommodate its false eternity. To be, I need no past or future. All experience is born of imagination. I do not imagine, so no birth or death happens to me. Only those who think themselves born can think themselves reborn. You are accusing me of having been born. I plead not guilty. All exists in awareness, and awareness neither dies nor is reborn. It is the changeless reality itself. All the universe of experience is born with the body and dies with the body. It has its beginning and end in awareness, but the awareness knows no beginning nor end. If you think it out carefully and brood over it for a long time, you will come to see the light of awareness in all its clarity, and the world will fade out of your vision. It is like looking at a burning incense stick. You see the stick and the smoke first. When you notice the fiery point, you realize that it has the power to consume mountains of sticks and fill the universe with smoke. Timelessly, the self actualizes itself without exhausting its infinite possibilities. In the incense stick simile, the stick is the body and the smoke is the mind. As long as the mind is busy with its contortions, it does not perceive its own source. The Guru comes and turns your attention to the spark within. By its very nature, the mind is outward. It always tends to seek for the source of things among the things themselves. To be told to look for the source within is, in a way, the beginning of a new life. Awareness takes the place of consciousness. In consciousness, there is the I, who is conscious while awareness is undivided. Awareness is aware of itself. The I am is a thought, while awareness is not a thought. There is no I am aware in awareness. Consciousness is an attribute, while awareness is not. One can be aware of being conscious, but not conscious of awareness. God is the totality of consciousness, but awareness is beyond all, being as well as not being. Questioner: I had started with a question about the condition of a man after death. When his body is destroyed, what happens to his consciousness? Does he carry his sense of seeing, hearing, etc. along with him, or does he leave them behind? And if he loses his senses, what becomes of his consciousness? Maharaj answered, senses are mere modes of perception. As the grosser modes disappear, finer states of consciousness emerge. Questioner: is there no transition to awareness after death? Maharaj answers, there can be no transition from consciousness to awareness, for awareness is not a form of consciousness. Consciousness can only become more subtle and refined, and that is what happens after death. As the various vehicles of man die off, the modes of consciousness induced by them also fade away. Questioner: until only unconsciousness remains? Maharaj answered, look at yourself talking of unconsciousness as something that comes and goes. Who is there to be conscious of unconsciousness? As long as the window is open, there is sunlight in the room. With the window shut, the sun remains. But does it see the darkness in the room? Is there anything like darkness to the sun? There is no such thing as unconsciousness, for unconsciousness is not experienceable. We infer unconsciousness when there is a lapse in memory or communication. If I stop reacting, you will say that I am unconscious. In reality, I may be most acutely conscious, only unable to communicate or remember. A questioner: I'm asking a simple question. There are about 4 billion people in the world, and they are all bound to die. What will be their condition after death? Not physically, but psychologically. Will their consciousness continue? And if it does, in what form? Do not tell me that I am not asking the right question, or that you do not know the answer, or that in your world my question is meaningless. The moment you start talking about your world and my world is different and incompatible, you build a wall between us. Either we live in one world, or your experience is of no use to us. Maharaj answered, of course we live in one world. Only I see it as it is, while you don't. You see yourself in the world, while I see the world in myself. To you, you get born and die, while to me, the world appears and disappears. Our world is real, but your view of it is not. There is no wall between us except the one built by you. There is nothing wrong with the senses. It is your imagination that misleads you. It covers up the world as it is, with what you imagine it to be. Something existing independently of you and yet closely following your inherited or acquired patterns. There is a deep contradiction in your attitude, which you do not see and which is the cause of sorrow. You cling to the idea that you were born into a world of pain and sorrow. I know that the world is a child of love, having its beginning, growth, and fulfillment in love. But I am beyond love even. Questioner: if you have created the world out of love, why is it so full of pain? Maharaj answered, you are right, from the body's point of view, but you are not the body. You are the immensity and infinity of consciousness. Don't assume what is not true, and you will see things as I see them. Pain and pleasure, good and bad, right and wrong, these are all relative terms and must not be taken absolutely. They are limited and temporary. You are the immensity and infinity of consciousness. Don't assume what is not true, and you'll see things as I see them. Pain and pleasure, good and bad, right and wrong. These are all relative terms and must not be taken absolutely. They are limited and temporary. Questioner. In the Buddhist tradition, it is stated that Nirvani, an enlightened Buddha, has the freedom of the universe. He can know and experience for himself all that exists. He can command, interfere with nature, with a chain of causation, change the sequence of events, even undo the past. The world is still with him, but he is free in it. Maharaj answered, what you describe is God. Of course, where there is a universe, there will also be its counterpart, which is God. But I am beyond both. There was a kingdom in search of a king. They found the right man and made him king. In no way had he changed. He was merely given the title, the rights, and the duties of a king. His nature was not affected, only his actions. Similarly, with the enlightened man, the content of his consciousness undergoes a radical transformation. But he is not misled. He knows the changeless. Questioner. The changeless cannot be conscious. Consciousness is always of change. The changeless leaves no trace in consciousness. Maharaj answers, yes and no. The paper is not the writing, yet it carries the writing. The ink is not the message, nor is the reader's mind the message, but they all make the message possible. Questioner. Does consciousness come down from reality, or is it an attribute of matter? Maharaj answers, consciousness as such is the subtle counterpart of matter. Just as inertia, called tamas, and energy, known as rajas, are attributes of matter, so does harmony, known as sattva, manifest itself as consciousness. You may consider it in a way as a form of very subtle energy. Wherever matter organizes itself into a stable organism, consciousness appears spontaneously. With the destruction of the organism, consciousness disappears. Questioner. Then what survives? Maharaj answered, that of which matter and consciousness are but aspects, which is neither born nor dies. Questioner. If it is beyond matter and consciousness, how can it be experienced? Maharaj answers, it can be known by its effects on both. Look for it in beauty and in bliss. But you will understand neither body nor consciousness unless you go beyond them. Questioner. Please tell us squarely, are you conscious or unconscious? Maharaj answered, the enlightened Gnani is neither. But in his enlightenment, Gnana, all is contained. Awareness contains every experience. But he who is aware is beyond every experience. He is beyond awareness itself. Questioner. There is the background of experience. Call it matter. There is the experiencer. Call it mind. What makes the bridge between the two? To which Maharaj answered, the very gap between is the bridge. That which at one end looks like matter and at the other as mind is in itself the bridge. Don't separate reality into mind and body, and there will be no need of bridges. Consciousness arising, the world arises. When you consider the wisdom and the beauty of the world, you call it God. Know the source of it all, which is in yourself, and you will find all your questions answered. A questioner. The seer and the seen, are they one or two? Maharaj answers, there is only one seeing. Both the seer and the seen are contained in it. Don't create differences where there are none. Questioner. I began with a question about the man who died. You said that his experiences will shape themselves according to his expectations and beliefs. Maharaj. Before you were born, you expected to live according to a plan, which you yourself had laid down. Your own will was the backbone of your destiny. Questioner. Surely karma interfered. Maharaj. Karma shapes the circumstances. The attitudes are your own. Ultimately, your character shapes your life, and you alone can shape your character. Questioner. How does one shape one's character? Maharaj answered, by seeing it as it is and being sincerely sorry. This integral seeing feeling can work miracles. It is like casting a bronze image. Metal alone or fire alone will not do, nor will the mold be of any use. You have to melt down the metal in the heat of the fire and cast it in the mold. Beyond mind, there is no suffering. Questioner. I see you sitting in your son's house waiting for lunch to be served, and I wonder whether the content of your consciousness is similar to mine, or partly different, or totally different. Are you hungry and thirsty as I am, waiting rather impatiently for the meals to be served, or are you in an altogether different state of mind? Maharaj answered, There is not much difference on the surface, but very much of it in the depth. You know yourself only through the senses and the mind. You take yourself to be what they suggest. Having no direct knowledge of yourself, you have mere ideas, or mediocre, second-hand by hearsay. Whatever you think you are, you take it to be true. The habit of imagining yourself perceivable and describable is very strong with you. I see as you see, hear as you hear, taste as you taste, eat as you eat. I also feel thirst and hunger and expect my food to be served on time. When starved or sick, my body and mind go weak. All this I perceive quite clearly, but somehow I am not in it. I feel myself as if floating over it, aloof and detached. Even not aloof and detached. There is aloofness and detachment as there is thirst and hunger. There is also the awareness of it all and a sense of immense distance, as if the body and the mind and all that happens to them were somehow far out on the horizon. I am like a cinema screen, clear and empty. The pictures pass over it and disappear, leaving it as clear and empty as before. In no way is the screen affected by the pictures, nor are the pictures affected by the screen. The screen intercepts and reflects the pictures. It does not shape them. It has nothing to do with the rolls of films. These are all as they are, lumps of destiny, parabda, but not my destiny. The destinies of the people on the screen. Questioner. You don't mean to say that the people in a picture have destinies. They belong to the story. The story is not theirs. Maharaj. And what about you? Do you shape your life or are you shaped by it? Questioner. Yes, you are right. A life story unrolls itself, of which I am one of the actors. I have no being outside it, as it has no being without me. I am merely a character, not a person. Maharaj. The character will become a person when he begins to shape his life instead of accepting it as it comes and identifying himself with it. Questioner. When I ask a question and you answer, what exactly happens? Maharaj. The question and the answer both appear on the screen. The lips move, the body speaks, and again the screen is clear and empty. Questioner. When you say clear and empty, what do you mean? Maharaj. I mean free of all contents. To myself, I'm neither perceivable nor conceivable. There is nothing I can point out and say, this I am. You identify yourself with everything so easily. I find it impossible. The feeling, I am not this or that, nor is anything mine, is so strong in me that as soon as I think, as a thing or a thought appears, there comes at once the sense, this I am not. Questioner. Do you mean to say that you spend your time repeating, this I am not, that I am not? Maharaj. Of course not. I'm merely verbalizing for your sake. By the grace of my Guru, I have realized once and for all, and for good, that I am neither object nor subject, and I do not need to remind myself all the time. Questioner. I find it hard to grasp. What exactly do you mean by saying that you are neither the object nor the subject? At this very moment, as we talk, am I not the object of your experience and you the subject? Maharaj answered, look, my thumb touches my forefinger. Both touch and are touched. When my attention is on the thumb is the feeler and the forefinger the self. Shift the focus of attention and the relationship is reversed. I find that somehow by shifting the focus of attention, I become the very thing I look at and experience the kind of consciousness it has. I become the inner witness of the thing. I call this capacity of entering other focal points of consciousness love. You may give it a name you like. Love says, I am everything. Wisdom says, I am nothing. Between the two, my life flows. Since at any point of time and space, I can be both the subject and the object of experience, I express it by saying that I am both and neither and beyond both. Questioner. You make all these extraordinary statements about yourself. What makes you say those things? What do you mean by saying that you are beyond space and time? Maharaj answered, you ask and the answer comes. I watch myself. I watch the answer and see no contradiction. It is clear to me that I am telling you the truth. It is all very simple. Only you must trust me that I mean what I say, that I am quite serious. As I told you already, my Guru showed me my true nature and the true nature of the world. Having realized that I am one with and yet beyond the world, I become free from all desire and fear. I did not reason out that I should be free. I found myself free, unexpectedly, without the least effort. This freedom from desire and fear remained with me since then. Another thing I noticed was that I do not need to make an effort. The deed follows the thought without delay and friction. I have also found that thoughts become self-fulfilling. Things would fall in place smoothly and brightly. The main change was in the mind. It became motionless and silent, responding quickly but not perpetuating the response. Spontaneity became a way of life. The real became natural, and the natural became real. And above all, infinite affection, love, dark and quiet, radiating in all directions, embracing all, making all interesting and beautiful, significant and auspicious. Questioner. We are told that various yogic powers arise spontaneously in a man who has realized his own true being. What is your experience of these matters? Maharaj answers, man's fivefold body, physical, etc., has potential powers beyond our wildest dreams. Not only is the entire universe reflected in man, but also the power to control the universe is waiting to be used by him. The wise man is not anxious to use such powers, except when the situation calls for them. He finds the abilities and skills of the human personality quite adequate for the business of daily living. Some of the powers can be developed by specialized training, but the man who flaunts such powers is still in bondage. The wise man counts nothing as his own. When at some time and place some miracle is attributed to some person, he will not establish any causal link between events and people, nor will he allow any conclusions to be drawn. All happened as it happened because it had to happen. Everything happens as it does because the universe is as it is. Questioner: the universe does not seem a happy place to live in. Why is there so much suffering? Maharaj: pain is physical. Suffering is mental. Beyond the mind there is no suffering. Pain is merely a signal that the body is in danger and requires attention. Similarly, suffering warns us that the structure of memories and habits, which we call the person, is threatened by loss or change. Pain is essential for survival of the body, but none compels you to suffer. Suffering is due entirely to clinging or resisting. It is a sign of our unwillingness to move on, to flow with life. As a sane life is free of pain, so is a saintly life free of suffering. Questioner: nobody has suffered more than saints. Maharaj: did they tell you, or do you say so on your own? The essence of saintliness is total acceptance of the present moment, harmony with things as they happen. A saint does not want things to be different from what they are. He knows that, considering all factors, they are unavoidable. He is friendly with the inevitable and, therefore, does not suffer. Pain he may know, but it does not shatter him. If he can, he does the needful to restore the lost balance, or he lets things take their course. Questioner: he may die. Maharaj: so what? What does he gain by living on, and what does he lose by dying? What was born must die. What was never born cannot die. It all depends on what he takes himself to be. Questioner: imagine you fall mortally ill. Would you not regret and resent? Maharaj answered: but I am dead already, or rather neither alive nor dead. You see my body behaving the habitual way and draw your own conclusions. You will not admit that your conclusions bind nobody but you. Do you see that the image you have of me may be altogether wrong? Your image of yourself is wrong too, but that is your problem. But you need not create problems for me and then ask me to solve them. I am neither creating problems nor solving them.